right, hey, we're having a pretty nice day in the stock markets. This video is not about the stock market. I'm going to be diving into some cryptos that I think need to get to a higher spot on your crypto watch list. These are going to be big winning crypto picks in this bull cycle that we're in right now, and I'm going to tell you why. But I want to briefly comment on the overall stock market. The fact that Nvidia is pushing the markets higher. We're seeing some great performance out of Google. And what does that mean? Why are we going higher right now? Well, as I've mentioned in a previous video, we're in the middle of an election year. So overall, it's a calmer environment where stocks can continue to climb. Inflation has not been getting lower. It's more been going sideways and flattening out. And so we're going to continue to have a little bit more hawkish Fed who's going to continue to advise us that he's going to hold the rates higher for longer. It's what he's been saying. And I think that to me, it looks like he's more likely to cut rates later at the end of this year, the fourth quarter possibly. I doubt it would be the third quarter. And because of that, as I've said in recent videos, the potential for these markets to climb higher is present. Don't short these big players just yet. It's not to say you can't do an intraday short, because those obviously on down days could be profitable, but the fact is that we are continuing to climb. Things have gotten a little bit more selective. Not everything is going up. Not all of big tech is going up. There's winners and there's losers. And so you need to be careful about just having a wholesale attitude. I don't believe that everything's going up. It's getting a little bit more picky and choosy in the market. But the fact is, the winners, the strongest movers have continued to move higher, and the AI picks are continuing to outperform. Now, to that point, we're getting opportunities to make purchases and buys and on some pullbacks, both in stocks and cryptos. People are asking me, after things run, after they get green, after they pop up 10%, should I buy this now? Well, first of all, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm trying to educate and teach you guys how I look at the charts and how the charts can help you make money. But the fact is, you want to buy on support. If you've got a chart, a stock that's just been moving parabolic in an absolutely up bullish swing, if you get a pullback, that's where you want to buy. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about some trend lines and show you something I've never shown you before to give you some perspective about when to what a bullish stock looks like. And you say, well, obviously a bullish stock looks like it's going up. Well, I'm going to teach you something new in the charts about bullish stocks here in just a second. But this video is all about crypto and 5 altcoins that are performing so well that you need to immediately push them to the top of your watch list, because these I'm calling as going to be the ones that more and more later on, as this crypto engine begins to fire off, these are going to be the ones that people are going to be buzzing and talking about. Now, I've already talked about these on this page. One of them's new. One of them I've talked about, but I haven't gone in depth about it. Today I'm going to go more in depth on it. But the fact is that these are only beginning to heat up. Right? I'm going to give you guys some good technicals and price points on them. This is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you for joining me. And I wanted to briefly talk about that intro video a little bit late. I know normally I'll talk about it the minute I premiere it, but guys, this is what I want you to be focused on. I want you to have this visual reminder going forward that the big dog, the big kahuna, Bitcoin's riding this bullish wave forward. It's his success, the big kahuna's success, that stabilizes these young projects that are going to go faster and further and stronger in the days ahead. And so I want you guys to have that visual regarding Bitcoin and the alts and the alt season that is ahead of us. And that's why I'm talking about altcoins today. So let's get into some of my picks. I'm just going to come right out and give you all of them. Put them on your watch list. It's Solana is the first one that we need to talk about. I highlighted this when the market began to pull back. When the crypto market began to pull back, Solana didn't. It pushed on to a new high. And I cannot make this any more simple. When the crypto market is going down and you see a cryptocurrency going up, it tells you that the smart money has been waiting for fear to enter the market to go after a couple of the ones that they didn't want to buy when things were going absolutely nuts. Because if they bought it when everyone else was buying it, it would go up even harder and faster. So they're waiting for people to begin to sell their bags so they can accumulate the ones I'm getting ready to talk to you about today. And the first one is Solana. And I'm very pro Ethereum, and I think Ethereum is going to have a great cycle this year, going to have a new all-time high. I'm confident in my Ethereum investment, but I've noticed that Solana has sort of taken Ethereum's place. Used to be that when Bitcoin would pull back, Ethereum would go on a little push. This time, Ethereum pulled back with Bitcoin, and it was Solana that went on a little push. So guys, I think that Solana can get up to $215 right now. I do believe that this move that we've had will have a correction moment. And so I'm not advising you to buy this right now, even though I do believe there's room up right now. But I'll tell you this, put this on your watch list, and if for some reason it falls apart and gets some bad news and some FUD pulls in and it drops 30%, I'm going to tell you it's my personal opinion that I'm going to buy it that day, because the price action that I'm seeing now is telling me of the future story that this is going to get back to all-time highs. And so you mark my words, it is my prediction that Solana will exceed previous market high, and we're getting very close to that form of a breakout. Still expecting a pullback, and that's where I'm going to be loading up more, because it's going to be your last opportunity. Right now we're pushing higher. Watch for a pullback, and when it comes, don't be afraid to buy then. Then AVAX. AVAX, it wants to go up to $80. And you know what? It's going to get away from some people. And I'm not telling you to buy this right now. I'm telling you put it on your watch list. I'm expecting an $80 AVAX. And again, it's pushing higher. A lot of great projects, Ethereum and a lot of other great projects pulling back with Bitcoin. That's normal. So when you see an altcoin not do that, you know it's a future leader. And then NEAR protocol. I talked about this recently, and I think that the hype and the momentum behind NEAR is just getting going. And I'm telling you that this is going to be one that we're going to see that's going to surprise people in the future. And I gave a prediction that it would fall below $7 recently. I said, guys, if we get a pullback, this could come back below $7. I said, that's the load up phase. Well, lo and behold, it came right back to my target and hit it within pennies, and it shot back up again, right? And now we have another down day. And so I'm just going to make it very, very clear. This is potentially where it's at, and any degree that it comes down is, in my world, a perfect time to be buying NEAR protocol. Now, does that mean, what if it came back and it broke through my lower support? I do not care, because of the research and the technicals and the backers, as I've outlined in a recent video. This is one of these cryptos that's going to be a big player in this cycle, and it's one that later on, I don't want you guys to come and ask me to buy it when it's above $10. I want us to be talking about whether or not it's worthy of a buy right where it's at today. And then Aptos. Now, I gave a detailed breakdown video on Aptos, and I just want to revise and let you guys know that it's another one that I'm actively accumulating, because I think that it's an $18 coin, and I think that it's also outperforming on a down day, and so you need to put it higher on your watch list. Aptos is an important project. And then the coin that I'm going to go in deeper on today is called SEI, and I want to break it down for you guys. I want you to have an understanding of exactly why they're important and what I'm going to be watching for. And again, the goal of this video is to bring these to you at a time frame when it makes sense to add a bag. And I think that today, that's what it looks like with this particular project. These guys are a decentralized NASDAQ. That's exactly what they are. And if you can pause and think about what I just said, the entire story is in that introduction. The fact is that the NASDAQ drives all of the top performing stocks in the world right now. And I'm just telling you guys, SEI is a decentralized NASDAQ. Right now, it's dealing with cryptos, but I believe that these guys, this could be the early days of an investment that's going to transcend crypto cycles that go up and down, and that this is going to be one that breaks potentially out of the herd and doesn't have a crypto winter. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but I think that its use case and the way that big companies are going to begin to look at these types of crypto blockchain projects could cause them to break out and break away from the Bitcoin cycle. And that's the other thing that I thought about when I was putting that video together with the big kahuna and the little guy who are surfing, is that once these guys become totally stable and they become able to handle the waves, they're going to catch their own waves. And so decentralized NASDAQ. And what is their claim to fame? Well, they claim to be the fastest blockchain in the world with 600 millisecond transaction speed. So it's better tech, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, they have their place because of the ecosystem and development and the language, the programming languages that are there and the intelligence behind them. They have their place. But this one is about AI and better technology and better performance and better application. And I could see a lot of things right now being built on it. And who else is impressed with these guys and who else believes that they're going to be a future winner? Well, they've got some interesting partners. I'm going to throw out a couple of their venture capital investment partners: Circle, Jump, Multicoin Capital. They've gotten the attention of all the important players, all right? And so this is we're having an early opportunity to look at this one. This thing could honestly go up to $10, in my opinion, easy. Now, hold on a minute. I'm not making a strong prediction. I'm just telling you from a general sense, this can be a $10 project. And right now we're in a baby stage of it. Venture capitalists believe that, and they're putting some money behind them early on to get that bigger payday. That's why I'm bringing it to you guys. They've invested millions and millions of dollars. Now, another interesting partner that they have is Coinbase. Now, Coinbase is a centralized exchange, and Say is a decentralized exchange. But Coinbase understands that they're going to operate under a world of regulation and being a publicly traded company, that they're going to not be able to do some things, right? They have a partnership with the federal government. They got a partnership with BlackRock and Fidelity, and they're being the custodial handler of the Bitcoin. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. So Coinbase has got this path that's carved out for them. And there's certain things that they can't do. But they want to be an investor in companies that can do the things that they can't do, which is a decentralized exchange. So Coinbase is a centralized exchange. These guys are a decentralized exchange, and there's more opportunity, and Coinbase wants to get early in on it. Let me read you guys this bit here. Coinbase International Exchange and Coinbase Advanced have announced plans to introduce perpetual future contracts for SEI, Blur, and Uniswap. Those are the three that they've chosen. SEI, being the youngest crypto on the block, is gotten a premier spot here. Starting from March 14th, 2024 at 10 a.m. UTC, this development has sparked increased interest in investors and optimism regarding SEI's bullish potential. And absolutely, it sparked my interest. All right, let me just, I'm going to go into the technicals on Say very quickly. Let me take a quick station break for the MEXC exchange. I do not have an affiliate deal with these guys. I've got an affiliate link, but I'm bringing them to your attention because right now is, for me, a buying opportunity. And this is where I can get all the projects that I currently cannot get on Coinbase. So I go over here and get them. And so you need two things to be able to do that. You need a MEXC account, all right, which has good liquidity. Good liquidity on these exchanges is important for micro coins and meme coins because you want to have a place where there's a lot of traders trading them. So if you want to get in and get out, there's the volume of trading there that allows you to do that. And there are some exchanges that don't have high liquidity. MEXC has I think the highest liquidity out of any exchange that doesn't require KYC. That's another factor. Also, because of that, you need a NORD VPN connection for your router, which points you outside the country. There's a link in there for both of them. I want you guys to check those out. Then let's get into the technicals on Say. And I'm going to make this easy. It's like a technical class. Always when I go over technicals, I consider what new things I can introduce to people. And here, let's go through it. It's a little bit a study of the candles to start. We had a really strong high up wick candle. Actually turned out to be a little bit bearish. It's bullish that we saw that momentum up, right? And this followed a really strong down wick candle. And so what this did is it expanded the price range. And that's the important thing I want you guys to understand. It's showing high volatility in a particular area. And largely, after it made those two big moves, it's moved sideways. And so what this means is that the bulls and the bears are fighting out the future direction of this project. And we now have what's called a trade range. 114 is the swing high and 61 cents is the swing low. 88 cents is the mid-range, and that's where we're at today. And I think that we would find the next time that we get a definitive close above 96 cents, I think that's going to give us a move up to $1.50. And then after that, we're going to see $2 pretty quickly. And I think it's going to get away from people. And today we're wicking beneath the 88 cent range. And for me, this is a get ready to load the boat, because it's going to go to $2 and you're going to regret not having the opportunity to have gotten it beneath $1. Now, that takes some assumptions in it. It takes the assumption that when we get to the halving event, that Bitcoin's going to continue to go higher, and that the market is not going to come out with a ton of FUD, and that there's going to be no black swan event. And I don't see those things happening. Everything looks pretty strong, and I'm going to bring you to that. One of the reasons why I believe that here in a minute. But I do want you guys to keep into consideration that whenever you're making an investment, it's assuming that the trend is going to continue. Right now, the trend is moving sideways after a real strong move up, and that points to me that it's a buy zone for a future move up. So that's why we're going through it. And here's why I want to talk to you guys. I haven't talked with you guys about the angle of trend lines. That's right, the angle of the trend line. Not only do you need to pay attention to the actual trend line, we're talking about ascending and descending trend lines, but I also want you to consider looking at the actual angle that those trend lines are operating on. And when we look at SEI, I want to point out that it has a greater than 30% up angle on the ascending line. So what does that mean? Anything that's 30% and above is considered a strong trend, and with a strong trend is going to have fast price acceleration. So 30% up is a pretty bullish angle for an ascending line for an asset to operate on an ascending line. 40% up would be considered an aggressive trend, and 45% angle would be considered we're going parabolic. That's essentially what that means. Now, what I see Say doing is moving sideways, and I see that before April 8th, that's the time frame that I've identified. By April 8th, we should be moving sideways. If we haven't already broken out, we should hit this ascending angle, and we should see a breakout then. So I'm giving you guys my accumulation. I'm giving you guys my timeline. So watch it with me. This is an important crypto, SEI. Now, I wanted to give you a final thought on Bitcoin and point out its aggressive trend line. Do you know that we've been going up on 3 pitches? So we've got 3 trend lines to watch on Bitcoin. We've got the highest trend line is 46%. Okay, that's just pretty much meant that bull run has broken out and gone parabolic here for the last couple months. Then there's a trend line right beneath it at 38%. And again, that is also an extremely aggressive trend line. And then the lowest trend line that I've identified that there's a pitch in Bitcoin right now is 32%. So all of them above 30, all of them are pointing and showing us that Bitcoin is catching a really strong wave of momentum right now. And again, all we're doing with Bitcoin is consolidating. And we're going to consolidate off of the 46-degree pitch over to the 38. And if the consolidation lasts longer, we'll consolidate over to the 32. But ultimately, all 3 of these trend lines are showing strong dominance. And when we hit them and take off and get a strong volume and momentum move, it means that we're going to push higher. And so that's what I'm going to be watching. The last thing I want to bring to your attention on Bitcoin is the RSI. And I also want to point out that between 52% to 50% is a perfect spot for Bitcoin to reverse and go higher. And it's where I'm expecting Bitcoin to do that. And it's come down, but we still have at least a week, if not 2 weeks, for Bitcoin to go sideways, test its low, tell us where the important low is. I talked about that in my last video, and then potentially to take off like a rocket. Wouldn't expect it to break through that low. I've given you guys the trend lines to watch. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you guys learned something new today about the technicals and the angles of the trend lines and how important they are and what they mean. Stocks are doing good today. I'm going to do a data dump of technicals in the Discord. At the Discord, if you don't know what that is, that's the Stock Squad Patreon. It's myself, StockMo, Keenan Grace, giving you guys technicals, trade alerts, and answering questions. I'm going to go over there and cover a number of stocks and cryptos, specifically the miners. I'm in a miners trade, some call options on Mara, Riot, and CleanSpark, and they're all performing fairly well today. They're holding up, and I am expecting some downward pressure because Bitcoin's not done coming down. But it's interesting to me that when Bitcoin began to come down, that's when they hit support and began to go up. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I don't have a huge position. I'm controlling my risk by controlling my position size, but I'm finding that it's more important now to look at the miners than when they've blasted up later on, when people had forgotten about them, gotten disgusted with them, given up on the miners. That's typically when I start looking at them again with interest, and so I'm looking at them again with interest. And we'll provide some technicals on them in the Discord here today and give some additional thoughts for those who are invested in them. I hope that was everything that you guys needed today. Peace and blessings, my friends. Put those altcoins higher on your watch list. They're going to be great performers in this crypto cycle. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.